really, really special video for you today. I'm here with Billy Davis and Xavier Naidoo from Sons of Mannheim, and we've had a wonderful visit together in Germany. I've had a great time with them, and I wanted to take this opportunity though and let two Hebrew Israelites talk to you about a multitude of things, but one of the things that we had a conversation about that I think is so important for people to understand is Esau. I think that's something I'd love for them to talk to you about too, because it's constantly a recurring theme back at home. And I think if people could get woke up to that, it really paves a lot of things down. And also, right before I let them start, make sure to check out Sons of Mannheim. The link's in the video description below. And also right there on the iCard where you can check out their music. With that said, guys, fire away.
I'm getting nervous now. Well, first of all, thanks for having us. And let me get straight to it. The problem, not the problem with it is, the thing is, it is never mentioned, there is never any skin color mentioned. It's always about hair. Esau being hairy and his hair being red. People kind of get it mixed up, and they always, well, not always, but they tend to think it's skin, where in truth is it's actually the hair. Speaking of the hair, well, he's speaking of the hair and the color of the hair, which is reddish and hairy all over. And there are black people who are hairy and somehow have reddish hair. So it's important for you guys to know that it's not white, it's all black. This is a story concerning blacks, from blacks, blacks hurting blacks, you know, and so Esau isn't a white man. Esau is a black man with red hair all over his body.
So what we figured is that, you know, if you want to apply this Edomite Esau story to these days, then maybe in a spiritual form they have like Egypt is America, America is this new Egypt. Maybe the story of them going down and them doing this to their brothers, now that we've all were joined in Christianity and have been brothers for such a long time, there have been Christian brothers from maybe Italian descent, Catholics, whatever, that could have told the Israelites who they are, you know, that could have found out a lot of things, but no, they treated them like the Edomites treated them in those days. That's maybe the closest you can get to you know, brothers treating brothers like you see it in America, like you see the Negro people of America being treated, and especially in these days when you see that the scriptures so often are being turned into Christians being prosecuted. It's much more American, black, Hebrew Israelites being prosecuted, because that's the news these days. Even in Germany, you could hear again a black person has been killed by policemen. You know, that was like news about Germany. You know, Nazis burning down asylum seekers' places and homes and stuff like that. We heard that a lot in the last few months about America. It was you know, it was Ferguson, it was other places. And I think that is the real Israelite prosecution that we see. It's not about Christians being prosecuted, a fake, what you call it, Messianic Jew like Jonathan Kahn saying it's the prosecution of Christians all over the world. He's not losing one word about the Hebrew Israelites, you know. So a lot of people really have not woken up. I'm not saying that I've woken up to this fact for a long time, maybe 3-4 months. That's why I'm so shocked at some of the extremes that I've seen in this short time. That, you know, you have Hebrew Israelites in America having, you know, whites kneel down, kiss their feet, and stuff like that. For what? Is the curse over? Is all of that? Is anything accomplished already?
Right.
You know, And I have the feeling that if anybody is going to throw themselves to the feet of an Israelite, it's going to be because of gratitude. It's not going to be because of force or because of making somebody feel bad. This person is going to want to do it.
Right.
So I think that a lot of Hebrew Israelites are going way overboard. It's just like
concentrating too much on this Esau thing and
Absolutely.
bringing color in where color, as well, I think color doesn't really have that much effect, or it shouldn't be handled as much, because the Bible doesn't handle color that much.
it should be humbleness.
Yes,
It's
well,
a heart
sure.
issue. It's
Exactly.
constantly a
Color
heart
is mentioned.
issue.
It's just
Even if
it's the
it
most
is color,
simplest thing.
even if God is a racist and wants the
Yeah,
nations
but
to be
still,
separated,
it's not a fight.
let's be humble about it. You cannot boast anything about it. You have to be the light, and you're not going to be the light if you start the mistreating and the ill-treating and all of that. If you reverse, my people come from South Africa, so I know this reverse racism, that takes place when you just turn the pyramid around. The whole thing is going to just start to be the same pyramid again. So what we would love everybody to kind of come together to is that we're all down, as you say, to the Most High, and nothing else can be in the way of that.
That's the most important thing.
Well, I think people lose track, and you all correct me if I'm wrong, because I try to sit in the midst of elders and listen whenever I can, but you all have seen this for a long time, and you don't have to deal with the American vision. You've seen it out away from Babylon. There's just this very few that have so much power at the very top that influences all the world. It has the tentacles reach so far, and people lose track that we're at war with them, not with each other. And as long as they can keep that pot churned all the time, it just seems like people can't never find center of what is really going on and who we're really fighting. Am I wrong in that, or do you see that outside of Babylon?
I think it's part of the curse too. I think it's just all part of the curse, and this is how things are supposed to be, and up until the last day, people are supposed to spread confusion, supposed to lie to each other, and I think this is all supposed to happen, actually. This is how I see it. I used to try to, to find a solution to it, or try to find a way to understand it better, but at the end of the day, I think this is part of God's plan, actually. The wicked being wicked, the good striving to be good, and trying to see or look for other good people, and it's just all part of the plan. And I think it's going to get worse too, with the deceiving and the lying, but we just have to be strong, and be like, I don't want to say be like God, but we have to be, stand our ground, stick to our beliefs, because I think honestly it's going to get worse. Just for a short time, though.
Oh yeah, I think things are wrapping up very quickly. If you could say one thing to the people of America, especially to your brothers and sisters, and to the Gentile people too, what would that be? Like, if you could just say one message to them, what would it be?
Well, I think my wish would be, like you said already, is to concentrate on who is the true enemy. Who do we really have to focus on? Where did the deceiving begin? If you want to start with the flat earth as being one of the biggest, truths being kept from us. Where did that come from? That came from the Jesuits, clearly. So a lot of the maybe the main part of the whole deception that we see is the Jesuits teaching our world leaders, and putting in place certain rituals to control the rich and the powerful. And I think in the last 6 to 7 years, we had the possibility to focus on exactly those that you would never focus on. Because, if you know the name of a figure like the Rothschilds, if you know the name of the 13 bloodline family, the DuPonts, the Sinclairs, whoever, if you know their names, then it's not going to be them. they're not the number one whoever is in the world. It's going to be somebody that you've hardly ever heard of. Old men that you think, what are they going to rule and who are they going to have power over? No, this power structure is so old and so evil and so, everything that you would think, that to get a person to confess whatever, they've done it all in the Spanish Inquisition. That's them. They did that. Okay, so they are killing, raping, murdering, and starting wars and whatever they can do for the papacy towards a one world government that is ruled by Rome. So this old Rome is still here. It's never left. It's still
Regenerated.
here. Of course. Even the Tsars of Russia are Caesars of Rome. That's all the same thing. So that is our main enemy. They have made Jesus a half God or a God. They have deceived Christians into a pagan, it's at least the Catholics, but most of the others too, because they have like the Sunday, they have the Ishtar and Baal, deception going on. So that's, and they have power over all the main powers of the world. It all comes together there. And they are trying to make a one world religion, a one world government, and they are, I guess they're going to sell us something like an alien savior figure, you see. So, if the Jesuits are the astronomers of the Vatican, and they, blew up the globe lie, and they have a observatory in Mount Graham in America, and it's called Lucifer.
Lucifer, yeah, it's
That
crazy.
should really make you think. And you have an intronization mass in the Vatican where Lucifer is being enthroned. And let's not forget that the last pope has resigned. His name is Ratzinger. That's the real pope. The first man in the Vatican at the moment is called Bertone, Cardinal Bertone. And the Jesuit cannot be a pope. A Jesuit is never allowed to be pope. The police cannot be the president. It's as simple as that. So it's not allowed for a Jesuit to be pope. So he is not a pope. Because also, if he has sworn a high oath, he's a dead man. Okay, he's not alive. He only is alive to his master, the general. So if we have all of that in mind, there's a big deception going on. And the people that have now embraced this new pope, thinking, okay, he's poor, he likes to be, he doesn't like this wealth of the church, and he's opening the church up to, all other beliefs and, other paths to find.
Yeah.
So you see that there's quite some agenda going on that is threatening to blow it all full out of proportion, and things that maybe have been so under the cover is now completely outside. And so I think that the biggest beast power is really generating from Rome, has and still is. And so if we would have to focus on something, then it's them, then it's us trying to take this Roman deception apart from the beginning. And that really means to look at the figure of Jesus Christ. I think we cannot hold on to at least this name Jesus Christ. It means something completely different in Latin. It means pig lover or something like that. So we have to be open enough and trust the Most High Yah enough to take the magnifying glass to all of these spots in our individual lives, and even as a Christian, be open to say, okay, maybe even I have been deceived.
Yeah.
even a Hebrew Israelite living in Orlando, going to church every day, every Sunday, you know, thinking he's so connected with the Most High through Jesus. I think even he should reconsider that maybe even he could be part of this, not part of the deception, but be deceived. And I've been part of this for a long time because I thought that things were pretty different. If I would have imagined a Jesus for a long time, it would have been a white Jesus. It would have been a white Moses. It would have been white figures. So now for a few months, since a few months, you know, you really gathered the feeling and the knowledge that it's all, you know, it's talking to these people of my family. It makes so much, it has so many different angles to it now that you know, okay, if this was a deception and they had been knowing all the time who these people were,
That goes deep.
That's really deep.
Yeah, but knowing all this, I would tell my fellow Americans and Hebrews then to get out of the country for those that can get out of the country. For those that cannot, you know, hold yourself together. Find people that think like you, that are like you, and try to survive it. Because I think America is Egypt and it's going to fall within the next couple of years. It's already started, so yeah, go to safety, find a safe haven, no matter if it's here, I mean across abroad, or if it's in the States, or maybe even South of America. Just find something safe, find something to go to, if you can. If you cannot, like I
If you
said,
can't, we're gonna
find
send you some
people
tickets.
like Lucas and his family, and see if you can help each other out through those hard times. And, you know, be there for each other, because God's going to be there for you too.
Man, I really appreciate it, guys.
Sure,
and
anytime.
I've had a wonderful time visiting with you, and I just hope that, you know, continuing the work that you all are doing and everything, it's gonna, you know, when you have so many people chipping away at the castle wall, eventually the wall comes down and people come in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think the more and more that keep waking up, this awakening, it's just gonna, eventually you can't hold back the flood. You know, and I appreciate you, and I hope the Most High continues to bless you of what you're doing, and anything I can do, right behind you, I support you 100%. And
That's the man right here.
appreciate you, and you know.
Feeling that.
And guys, if you want to check out their music, make sure and do so. It's great music, and the links in the video description below, like I said, and also check the iCard earlier, and also check out the other videos that we have in the links below. And until we see you again here, 7 Trumpets Pepper Channel, I hope you have a most blessed day in Yahushua.